Very good morning. Euro dollar is pushing up higher due to a new tax bill that was accepted in the United States and the overall political but also definitely fiscal uncertainty that remains and persists surrounding the United States. Good morning, guys. Fabio here, and welcome back to another daily market update where we discuss all the major dollar pairs and, of course, gold. Now, President Donald Trump has passed a new tax bill in the House, but he faces a new challenge in the Senate where he must appease customers of the ballooning U.S. debt. But more importantly, the bond market is expressing unease over the United States fiscal profile, with investors questioning whether they should loan the United States government money at a 5% interest for the next 30 years. And warning signs are emerging that the government's interest bill could accelerate its physical deterioration. So a lot of uncertainty surrounding the overall physical situation in the United States, but also definitely the political. And this is currently today causing EURUSD to push up higher. Now, as we can see, EURUSD has remained in an overall bearish daily trend, with the bearish daily fractal still being respected. So the current fractal high was respected, and yesterday we started pushing down lower actually on euro dollar. Now, looking at the 4-hour time frame, remember what I mentioned in yesterday's video, that overall we got that bearish fractal structure shift where we had this breakdown, we had a retracement, and then we had another breakdown, retracement, and then another breakdown. So after this breakdown, that for me was kind of the confirmation, okay, we're ready to look for shorts, back down at least in towards these two imbalance candles, which in turn have pushed the price up higher once again. Now, you can see that these fractals overall don't really mean a lot, because as we can see, the overall sub for the buy, so this being the first one, this being the second one, this being the third one, that overall, that is still being respected. Now, again, we can see that euro dollar is still heavily bullish in the sense that we have this internal trend going on, and I would not be surprised now if we take out this high once again, and I would then only be interested in further shorts on euro dollar if we would break this current fractal low again. But for now, it is looking too bullish, so I would preferably want to stay out of EURUSD until we really see some confirmation. Now, overall, I'm still interested in shorts as long as the current fractal high is respected. If that were to break, that would mean that this becomes the next fractal low, and then that would need to break again before I would be interested in any potential shorting opportunities. As simple as that. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, that in turn would mean that we would also need to see a 4-hour structural shift. So if we push up higher, this here is, I think, the daily fractal high, this line over here. So let's say we break that, this then becomes the daily fractal low, but it's also your 4-hour fractal low. Then we would just need to wait for that to shift, retracement, and then we can get in on those shorting opportunities. For now, I'm not trying to catch any longs, though we do have some nice descending highs here, which are currently, or probably could be taken out. So around that 114,400 level, wouldn't be surprised if we potentially hit that in the near future before seeing any real substantial push back in towards the downside. Now, if we do get it earlier in the form of that daily fractal structure shift, because again, let's say we just take out this high over here, this becomes the fractal low, we see a daily fractal structure shift, retracement, then here I would already be happy to get into a potential shorting opportunity. But obviously the highest probability trade for myself would be if we take out this high over here and then get the daily fractal structure shift, the 4-hour as well, and then we get into those shorting opportunities. Okay, going into the dollar index itself has obviously been pushing down lower, so this is not really looking very nice in my opinion. Not a big fan of the current price action, not really going to dive into it too much. All I can say is that if we do look at the current situation that we are in, overall on the weekly time frame, we are still fractal bullish, with this here being the fractal low. Obviously, after faking out kind of like on this accumulation range, we saw that aggressive buy back in towards the highs, with the weekly fractal being bullish. If we compare this to the similar situation which I've talked about a lot in 2017, you can also see that there was a rebound in towards the highs, one more kind of like sweep of the lows before the real reversal back in towards the highs. And this overall little retracement after the manipulation was around 4%. And what we've now seen over here is as well, let me just get that right, is also around a pump of 4%. So it could be possible that this was it for the dollar, and that from here we're just going to continue pushing down lower overall and see another swipe and kind of like take out those ascending lows which we have positioned over here. Okay, so this is a possibility before seeing any real rebound back in towards the highs. Just keep that in mind. So once that daily fractal does break on the dollar, then I'll just more be focusing on those shorting opportunities in line with the overall order flow, but also in line with obviously the overall momentum which we've been seeing, because overall the dollar is still bearish. That is just the reality. and I'm not just going to say, okay, we still look for longs because we faked out on the range low of this range over here, because if the daily does shift fractal bearish and breaks this low, which it's likely going to do, I wouldn't be surprised if we just continue the order flow, but we'll just follow the order flow down lower, as simple as that as well. Going into AUDUSD, but what I was more referring to is I'm not going to marry the bias of now, for now, just buying. AUDUSD, very consolidative still, has pushed up a little bit higher again, kind of like in line obviously with what I want to see. I want to see that further upside still from AU, and I wanted to see take out this high that we had over here. So looking for that further upside still. It's squeezing a lot of descending highs, a lot of ascending lows, so it's probably going to break out of this area of accumulation very, very soon. Obviously, after such a big move down, such a big move up, it's not strange that price is kind of like recharging in a range. You see that often, like here, for example, we had a massive move down, and then you see kind of like that this at the time was the range. Now we had a massive move up, and now at this time, this is the range. So after a big range, like we had over here, there's likely going to be a big move, and now it's just waiting for that next big move to happen. So yeah, waiting for that, but for now, I'm favoring those longs on AU. Going into NZDUSD and GBPUSD, so we'll go into GU first. GU overall is bullish at the moment. We can see that yesterday's daily fractal structure is being respected and that the buys are still playing out. Overall, what happened here on GBPUSD is that the daily fractal structure of yesterday got respected, in the sense that you can see here we tap in and we push straight back out. Now the next daily fractal structure is this over here, so this is now going to be respected most likely and going to continue pushing up higher. So just follow that up higher until we see any shift on the daily. So yeah, no shorts available. Also yesterday's 4-hour fractal structure remained bearish, as we can see. Yesterday, this was the fractal low, this was the fractal high. We were traced approximately in towards the 0.5 fib, and then from there we just push up higher. So yeah, no shorts available on that thing. Buys were pretty much the only good option. Also, with inflation being high and interest rates expected to be high in the United Kingdom, pound longs have been playing out pretty well. G-Swiss was a pair that I was looking to monitor, and as we can see, that daily demand zone has been playing out very, very well. Going into, let me just think, NZDUSD, and then we're going to go into dollar yen and dollar Swiss. NZDUSD still has those descending highs to take out, would favor another push up before any potential shorts at all, back down in towards the sub for the buy. So yeah, just follow this up higher, kind of like in line with AUDUSD. Going into dollar yen, dollar Swiss, and gold. So first of all, we have dollar yen. Dollar yen obviously slow as hell, as we can see, still very bearish in the sense that, look, current fractal low, current fractal high. So on the daily time frame, it makes sense to look for potential longs, but the lower time frame, guys, is still very, very, very bearish. We can just see momentum is down, current fractal high never got broken, no bullish confirmation at all. So yeah, just leave this thing for what it is until we really see a momentum shift, and only then would I get into longs. Even in this demand zone, no confirmation here as well. There's no demand zone at all, so there's not much to do on the long side of things for dollar yen, in my opinion. Going into dollar Swiss, we can see that dollar Swiss itself at the moment has been, let's say, the most bullish of those dollar, let's say USD CAD, USD yen. Main reason being is because the Swiss franc is weak again, as I've been discussing already for a lot of weeks. Overall, I think it's still a nice opportunity, but I would personally be looking more at like an AUDCHF or an NZDCHF. Let me just get that right pair. So NZDCHF, those are the more interesting pairs for longs in my opinion, as opposed to a dollar Swiss, just because the dollar is not very strong at the moment, and a pound Swiss obviously as well. And then last of all, we have of course gold. So gold, I was actually looking for it to push a little bit lower yesterday. Overall, still in the impulsive phase. All I need to say pretty much is that here we have the impulsive phase, here we have the corrective phase, and then here we're now again in the impulsive phase. So looking for the impulse to continue pushing up higher. Overall, yesterday I was looking for a new long opportunity on gold. To be very honest, I just missed out because I set an alert actually on 32.73, which is the beginning of this overall ascending trend line. So I was looking for all of the lows to get swiped and then for a reversal up higher, and this is something that gold does a lot. It grabs liquidity underneath the lows and then it reverses. For example, over here, grabs it underneath the lows and then reverses very aggressively. So I was looking for something similar here, where we saw this and then the reversal didn't retrace that deep. overall, just still looking for longs on gold, and yeah, looking for it to push up higher. So I want to thank you all for tuning into this daily market outlook. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. Make sure to join the Discord link in the description down below. I'll be back in Amsterdam tomorrow, and yeah, back to the normal schedule from next week onward. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.